Alright, so this is going to be a test of all the different picture profiles and the best way to shoot at nighttime. The thing I want to focus on is the lowest amount of noise, especially in the shadows, and how much ISO I need to have enough information there to do some color grading and post. And what I'm having a hard time with is shooting without any of the picture profiles on. I can't do any grading, but the footage looks a lot cleaner. So I normally shoot in Cine 4 and S-Log2, and that's what I'm going to be doing most of these tests on. But when I shoot on S-Log2, to get the dynamic range, I got to bump up the ISO to maximize that dynamic range. And then I usually throw on a LUT if I'm not trying to do a cinematic look to get me back to pretty much what you're seeing now without the picture profile on. So right now I'm shooting at 1/50th, f2.8, ISO at 6400, and we're exposed to the left right now. Alright, so now I put on picture profile 2, and what I have set is I have gamma set to movie and color mode set to movie. And what we're at right now is we're at 1/50th, f2.8. We're about ISO 8000. It's showing on the histogram that we're 1.3 stops under. But if I was gonna export a project without doing any grading, this is about the brightness that I would like for this level. And in post I'll show you guys what it looks like cropped in, probably about 200 to 400%, so we can check out the noise in the shadows. Alright, so now we are switched over to Cine 4. And this is the A7Sii for the color space. And it is at 1/50th, f2.8. And the ISO is at 64,000. I'm sorry, 64,000. It's saying that I'm overexposed by 1.7. It's exposed to the right by just a little bit, but this is about how bright I like it to do any grading. If it's any darker, then I don't have the dynamic range and it won't really let me do anything. Even though the Cine 4 will usually give you some more dynamic range, if it's not exposed properly, by overexposing it, you really can't do anything to the footage and you're just kind of stuck with some footage that you can maybe saturate just a little bit, crush the blacks, but that's about it. Alright, so now this is S-Log2. This is usually my favorite picture profile and what I shoot in most. We're at 1/50th, f2.8. We're overexposed by 2 stops. It's exposed to the right just a little bit. This is 320,000 ISO. So this is about where I need to expose if I want to maximize the dynamic range, especially in the shadows. So with this profile, you have to grade this. You can't come off the camera like this unless you're looking for a really, really flat image. So this is where I have to expose it to maximize the dynamic range. I'll do some zooming in on the shadow so you guys can see the noise on all these clips. The other clips that I shot, I'm not going to color grade. This one I am going to color grade, but I'm not going to use neat video so you guys can see the noise that's left over. So this is where I need to shoot for proper exposure for the maximum dynamic range in S-Log2. And for the heck of it, here is S-Log3, still at 1/50th, f2.8. We're more than 2 stops exposed. It's about the same exposure as S-Log2, but now we're at 409,600 ISO. So this is what you have to do to get the dynamic range, but the footage is very noisy. When it's really dark out, I don't use S-Log 3. Yes, it has the dynamic range, but you're going to get some noisy footage, and I think it's unusable at darker levels. And I'm starting to think that this is going to be the best picture profile and color space for my nighttime shooting. We're at 1/50th f2.8. We're exposed by 1.7 to almost 2 stops. We're exposed to the right. We're at 80,000 ISO, and we are in Cine 2, and all the color modes are S Gamut 3 Cine. So between S-Log 2 and Cine 2, I think these are the best profiles when it comes to shooting at night. If you want a little bit more dynamic range to do some color manipulation in post, I would shoot in S-Log, but it looks like as far as noise, that Cine 2 might be one of the better bets. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys have any more questions, please let me know.